Frito and Norm, whoever booked the flights, I don't know who booked them initially. Someone in Donna Willard, Dan Bennett's assistant, normally books these flights, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm. Somebody does.
Well, whatever the case may be, she sits Norm and Frito together. And Frito, the morning of the flight, goes online and has them separated. Because he, as he says, he goes, nothing against Norm. I'm going to spend the whole week with him, and I can do without the 3-hour flight sitting right next to him.
He hates Norm.
I know. He really does. So they get to the airport, or I think Frito picked Norm up, and as they're driving to the airport, Frito had already separated them after they were sitting together. Norm goes, Frito, just made a call to the airline. I got us sitting together. So after Frito separated them, Norm called back to make sure that they were sitting together.
You got to be kidding me.
No.
Inseparable.
So they sat together?
Well, I think after that, Frito went back up to the counter and saw that they were reseparated them, and had to explain to Norm that there must have been some snafu when he called. And Norm, I mean, if you think terrorist, you immediately think of a picture of Norm Hitchcock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Hitchcock.
Whatever. As I got through security and I looked behind me, and there's Norm being basically taken advantage of by the TSA.
Yes.
Swabbing him and wanding him and everything. Well, the thing is that Norm's got a fake hip. And the hip goes off when he goes through the security line.
Damn it!
And Frito says it happens every time. And Norm won't take his shoes off. Refuses to.
He won't?
No, because...
I thought you had to.
Well, he's got that donkey foot where it's hard to put on a shoe. And so... Seriously, it takes him an hour to put a shoe on.
He doesn't have a donkey foot.
So he tells these TSA people, I'm not taking my shoe off. Just not doing it.
No, never, never.
So then he's got to go back and get basically the full body cavity search. Well, the guy that's giving him the search, I'm listening to him, and he's like, so Norm, what do you think of my Giants this week? So as he's wanding him and checking him for explosives, he's trying to get betting tips
from him. He's trying to get a show done for him.
He knows exactly who the guy is, so there's Norm going, I got to tell you, the Giants look strong. So then we make it to Phoenix, and we're staying in Scottsdale. We're about 25 minutes outside of Phoenix where we are right now. And so it had probably been a long morning and a long flight and, a fairly substantial trip for Norm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to the hotel, and Bob, Dan, and Donovan are trying to check in front of us. Well, there's some sort of snafu where we're not able to check in. They have our names, but the computer won't let us check in. So there we are, and we're all just hanging out. No big deal. I didn't think anything of it. I mean, it's happened before. We're not able to check in for whatever reason, and I wasn't too concerned about it. And it was about 3, 4 o'clock, something like that at this point.
Right.
And so we're just sitting there talking to each other, and I look over at Norm, and he's staring at this poor girl who has no control over the situation whatsoever. He's just leering at her. And none of us are able to check in.
And wasn't he kind of leaning on the desk like this, too?
Well, he walked over to the desk and started looking at her closer and goes, look, we're staying here 8 days. Can't you take care of this at some other point? And this girl looks up at him and is like, I'm sorry, sir, but we can't check you in because I can't get through this one security measure, and please just bear with us. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
I'm sorry. That's it.
So about that time, we're all looking at each other like, uh-oh, here we go. Well, all the while, if you haven't seen Norm walk, he walks with a cane. And at the end of Norm's cane is a gorilla.
What?
Yeah, he's got a gorilla cane.
Like full size?
No, it's a gorilla head.
Oh.
So, Donovan, hey, put the headset on. So Donovan and I, we start laughing because Norm is about at the point where he's starting to shake a little bit.
About the check-in, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. and things aren't really going well.
And he has his cane to the side, but he's taking little baby steps toward the counter to get in the girl's face. Just little baby steps.
Yeah.
And I looked at Snake and was like, man, that gorilla's going to start roaring in a second. We might need to calm him down. As Norm is talking to the girl, says, roar. Hey, I can't control him. We need to roar.
We started making the gorilla come alive, that
And
if Norm gets mad, the gorilla, he's like, and we start talking for Norm going, look, I can't control my gorilla, okay? He has a mind of his own. And Norm, the whole time, we're all dying laughing. He does
Dead
not
serious.
crack a smile.
He is ready to check into his room, but they can't get in touch with Nick to do something about the computer snafu.
Make it happen, okay? Make it happen. So,
God.
It's a little tense, and we're trying to joke about it, but Norm just will have none of it. So, finally,
I thought we'd seen the last of those days.
No, not so much. Then you know what? From what we hear, according to Frito, that was nothing. I mean, he has seen Norm blow up to holy hell. So then, finally, they get a hold of Nick. Nick gets us checked in. Well, Bob, Dan, and Donovan were there first, so they check in. Norm is waiting patiently. And she looks at me and goes, are you next? I go, no, it's this guy. Please, check this guy in
But
to Norm.
she didn't pay attention, and she looked at Corby and said, well, what's your name? And Corby said, Hiscus. Hiscus. Let's get this thing over with.
I wanted
Get
Norm
him out of here.
checked in. So then she starts checking Norm in. And then Norm has to run through his series of questions, which he does at every hotel, starting off with, what is your fax number? I don't know. Can you hang on one? Yeah, I need your fax number immediately. Right now. And can you fax the internet to me tonight, please? So she gets the fax number for him. Okay, that's fine. Listen, I would like, and then it gets to be real serious, Norm. You have me staying on the 3rd floor. As you can see by my monkey cane, I don't walk very well. Can you please put me on the 1st floor? To which she says, oh, yeah, we'll do our best to put you on the 1st floor, and you won't have to take any elevators or anything like that. And so then she turns to him, and I could tell she did not want to utter this sentence, but she goes, Mr. Norm, the 1st floor is completely sold out. And it was just like, dun, dun, dun.
What?
The gorilla starts pounding his chest.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Throwing coconuts at her.
So then he just said, look, just please, I need a 1st floor room, okay? I can't do it. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. Okay, let's move on.
Fake hip.
Do you have a dry cleaning service? And they're like, well, we have a washing machine and a dryer.
For what? His sweatpants?
That's what.
Does he need to get those pressed?
That's what the thing. Norm we all carry pretty big pieces of luggage with us on a week-long trip. Okay, we're going for a long time. We don't know what the weather's going to be like. I mean, I had a lot of crap.
Yeah, I mean, we've learned over the years that when you go to the Super Bowl, no matter where it is, unless it's in Detroit or Miami, anywhere else, you can't take chances with it. You don't know what it's going to be, so you got to be ready for everything.
Norm has a bag that looks
He
like...
has a gym bag.
Yes, that looks like he's got a pair of sneakers and sweatpants.
Well, you know what? His clothes don't get dirty because 5 minutes into walking into the room, it's shirt off, pants off, into his little thin shorts, and that's it. That's the whole outfit for the whole evening.
Oh.
No shirt and little thin shorts that even if he thinks about another woman, you can tell.
Oh God.